definitely crashed the stream. It's fun. So if you're on YouTube, I apologize. Or probably both. I wonder if you get emails for both. That's kind of annoying. But yeah, something with changing profile displays just crashes Streamlabs. So here we are. Probably try out Gifski in the past. I've used online converters. Yeah, that's kind of where I was too. I just use online converters, and I think I had pretty good success with it. I was happy with what I was getting. So yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to like figure things out. As I'm recovering from this crash. So is me for not getting this figured out. But I'm going to edit photos in the meantime. I have no idea if anyone's here or not. I don't think anyone is. Which is alright. I mean, I'm thin edge already. I guess there's no trash trucks today. And there's no techno fan. That was cracking me up yesterday. My fan was making a ticking sound at exactly 128 beats per minute. I thought my girlfriend was playing techno. Just my fan. So yeah, if you came here from the first email, sorry. I don't know if it like reloads. It reloads the same URL. I think Twitch it does. It's got like the auto continuation, but mind if I share your stream? No. Absolutely. Tell everyone. Let's get as many people in here as we can. I'm not trying to keep this like a bespoke small thing. I think it's nice like being able to have like dialogue with people at a smaller scale. But my goal is to kind of make myself available and useful to as many people as possible. So I'd be very grateful if you wanted to share it. So thank you. And again, today's kind of a cruisy day. I've got things I'm going to do at some point regardless of what I do on stream, but just going to open it up. Whatever questions, requests, anything, cruising. As long as you vote for the site for side of the month, that's it. I don't know if those links are still here or not. They might be. Is it possible to set the stream quality to have lower options? 1080p 60 is the only available option. Really? That's interesting. Let me see what I can pull up in my... I don't know if I can change it mid-stream or not. Stream. I'm just looking through all these settings. This is like almost... this is almost not English for me. Like all these terms. Like I basically did a Google search and tried to find out what the best settings were, but I don't know. I don't know if that's correct. I thought there would be like a way for it to be like it'll adjust the quality and the frame rate based on your internet connection, but maybe that's not. Um, Maybe it doesn't happen on Twitch. I don't know. Indra, hello. I hope you're doing well. I hope to learn something new from you. Well, thanks for coming through. Yeah, if you have any questions or anything, definitely feel free to ask. I hope I'm able to provide information that will help you with something. Um, and yeah, if you're new to the stream, just, I'm not the most polished. I'll do my best to try and answer things as best I can. Sometimes a little patience is required, but this is just super informal, and that's kind of why I like it. I think having something that's too rigid, just not too high of an interest. But yeah, light, casual, whatever. Hopefully helpful. I think having options for lower quality would be good for those with slower internet speed. Right now, it just lags. Damn. Twitch, just stream quality. Oh, what is this website? Do you have like the controls in the bottom right? Because I don't think that's something I can control. I don't think I can force 1080p 60. I would think it'd be able to degrade to different quality, but maybe not. Yeah, let me know if that doesn't work. I'd be happy to look into it to try and see if I could figure something out. I think I can go that dark. Those are kind of strange. Oh, one of those where it seems obvious to go blue. It was like a rainy day. It just feels like just flat blue. I don't know if that's really the vibe. Having a little bit of color contrast would be helpful. Yeah, it just says auto and 1080p 60. Let me turn off my desktop audio. You don't get double. Yeah. I'm guessing that's what you're seeing. Oh, and this crazy feedback loop. Let me change to something else. There. Advanced. Pop out player. So I don't know how I. It's in like the stream manager. Channel. My stream manager. Oh, create your dashboard. Stream manager. What's funny is it shows my bitrate is not great. It shows it in red. Settings, stream. Disconnect protection, latency mode. Store past broadcast, enable clips. Missions, raids, drops. Interesting. Streaming tools, extensions. I mean, it's saying my average bitrate is too high. Like I need to adjust that. Yeah, let me get back to you on that. Let me add that to my to-do list of how I can reduce quality. Check settings, or check for reduced bitrate on stream. Because I wonder if the YouTube stream, I'm pretty sure YouTube has the option for like degraded quality. Back to this. Is anyone else having issues with that? Definitely be curious. Color balance is just not it. It's getting closer. Pushing in that direction helps. Master is still blue. Like I want to go darker, but I just don't know if I can. That was the original, that's where it's at. It feels like too green, so I think pulling the blues away, helping. Only problem is like the skin tone's kind of running away a little bit. Getting like yellowish, which I could probably fix. See the reds like working through here. I'm not able to control it. Dot. And that saturation. That's really strange. The yellows have no effect on it whatsoever. Really strange. It's feeling better though. This is a chance to darken things a little bit. And with these, I've been getting into the idea of like kind of further creating focus. If I show the mask. Oh no. Oh. So that's kind of what's being affected right now. Turn it off. So I don't want to get too far into that business. But I do like the reduced quality with the texture clarity and these. It just feels like it's not dark enough. And I know that might be crazy. Because I mean, so much is gone. And already better. This is like kind of strange coloration. My bump of the shadows a little bit. I don't know, it kind of feels like it's getting a little strange. Like really soft with it. Because it can become a little too noticeable. Skin color is just not it. Tighten. Too saturated. It helps provide some balance to it so it doesn't feel like it's this overwhelmingly blue image. Even though it's like trace amounts. I think that was about right. Wow, a lot of purple hue. Interesting. Didn't expect that. Ooh, very interesting. You never know like where these hues show up, so sometimes you just gotta like grab a slider and go wild with it. I don't know. This preview looks greener than this. Am I losing my mind? Yes, very likely. Okay. I feel pretty good about that, but that's one of those ones where I'll probably just sit with it for a little bit to see if it feels right. This one I wanted to redo. It felt too blue. I was looking at it. Yeah, look at all these blues through them. It's the shadows that are bothering me a little bit. Already feels better. Yep. Yep. I just think there's too much saturation in here now. I think that's a lot better. Where? Oh, where? Serve? There it is. So I didn't upload it, which is good, so I can just overwrite it. Boom. Boom. Again, you can just do more updating. So I got the old repository, which it's getting up there, 463 images. I know I kind of slept on it for a little bit, so I apologize for anyone who's had it and felt like I'm just looking at the same image. But I mean, between the last 6 days, I mean, all the ones that are green are uploaded, but I've been trying to cook on this quite a bit. That's not it. To try and get this in a better spot. Because I realized like there's 460 images, but it's wild. Like if you have it up long enough, you start just seeing the same images. Because I have it on my computer and I use it as a way to just kind of get fresh eyes on things. So it's been nice to kind of be like, oh shit, like that is not the right one, or not the right edit. And what's weird is like sometimes like old images are making their way into it. I don't know why. That's been updated, so that's good. Did this one on the stream the other day. Feeling pretty good about it, but oh, I did upload that one. Okay. I feel like this could benefit again from like more reds in the shadows. Just the blue, like it helps balance it, but it doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. Like if it's sunset, it should be. There should be an overwhelming, like warm feel to it. Let's see. That doesn't feel right either. Yeah, see, it's just too much saturation. Also feels heavy. I don't know if I'm pulling too hard down. Yeah, I'm pulling down on that. Always interesting to me, like how much my eye will change. So this is here. That's where it was. It was better. I just think the blues, it's like, I don't know if I just dumped the saturation. Maybe it's aquas. Maybe there's nothing there and I'm just seeing shit. All possibilities. Yeah, definitely better. I kind of want to mark. Oh, you know what? That's one more thing. Test. See if I could bump this up a little bit. You can see like how it just creates this weird sort of inverse. So I'm adding pixels, pixel value. I just don't think that can get any more like warm. Kind of interesting dumping it towards blues again in the highlights. Because this luminance range is only affecting the highlights, I'm kind of able to just bump some of like the mid-tone values in that highlight range, if that makes sense. Just feels flat. Oh, it's not doing anything. A lot. Compared to the export, I think it's heading in the right direction. It feels more organic, being like less. I think the other one felt too polished, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna go ahead and dump that. 7994. Dump that. That is. Yeah, some of these are just. This one's okay. It just feels kind of pedestrian. I kind of like it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm waiting for. Maybe like an invite. Post that one. I'll probably. I keep on wanting. Son of a. Let's do that. Like close search, then disconnect ends up being right in the same spot. I don't know why I clicked the same spot twice, but so I do want to go through and fix some of these ill-advised edits, I would call them. Some are more offensive than the others. That one's kind of offensive. This one's not terrible. I think there's a better version of it. 04510. 04510. Good. Why? They're exactly the same. I like having the other one that I'm pretty happy with, but I like having the option to kind of just start over. Sometimes you just never know. I really like this image, so getting this one as right as I can is kind of a high priority. I've talked about this in the past, but like if you ever get the chance to shoot in a shaping bay, definitely. Just the colors in this room are so nice. So I already know I'm going to go darker, so that. I don't know if that blue is quite right. Another one of those, it's like, I don't want to artificially change. It's too much. I think if I go too blue, it's like, it's not, like, these are halogen. Pretty warm feeling to the room. I think the blue offsets some of the like the yellow kind of nicely, but I don't think it's a genuine representation in my mind. That feels a little bit nicer. Really all that's doing is messing with the lights on the wall. I just feel like there's just a lot of warm tone. Why I keep coming back to that. This is just so heavy in here in the shadows. Like there's so much shadows that it just overwhelms things a little bit. somewhere in the middle. So tempting to go dark. I swear, this large version and the small thumbnail, they just look different. Kind of funny, like you turn down the highlights. I mean, this looks like shit, but it's like some of this stuff brightens up. Don't understand that sometimes. Again, that's the edit I was liking before. I've always kind of liked this image, but it's so strange just seeing them side by side. I do think the green's a little overpowering in some areas. This is where I'll do like color correction. Like I'm pretty happy with it overall. I think maybe the reds I might up in the shadows on this one, but just the greens feel a little prevalent. So in like conjunction with the color grading tools, you can add like broad strokes to, like you can smoothly apply color to shadows, midtones, highlights, but then through the tonal curve and just some of these minor adjustments, you can get very specific, like which parts of the image these colors show up. Specifically, like this soft gradient up here is just inheriting a lot of just like a lot of the color grades in ways that I don't really want it to. So, and this red, like I fully aware it's pretty heavy up here, but I kind of like it in some ways. Skin tones seem all right. So I'm happy with it. Sometimes I'll just, like, you don't know what you don't know. Like sometimes you just realize like, oh shit, like maybe there is too much blue here, or there's not enough. Federico, both YouTube and Twitch. Yeah, for today. It kind of hit me like I don't think everyone made it over from YouTube, and I'm paying for Streamlab Prime, so I can technically stream to both. If when I have to choose one, every indication is I'll go with Twitch at this point. But I do have a broader community, or like a more of an audience in YouTube, so yeah, I don't want to seem like I'm immediately going back on that, but it's one of those things like why not? And plus, I'm trying to plug that side of the month voting. So I was like, fuck it. I'll just go back on both for now while I can, and then, yeah, because I'm winging this entirely. Like the idea of both. Yeah, me too. I mean, it's a broader audience. It's more people to get engaged. The problem is it's a little bit more effort. Like I have to go through. I mean, it's really not that hard. But like I feel like there needs to be like a relevant thumbnail for all these, so I have to like produce these every time. Which if I want to just like go live quickly, it's kind of like, oh shit, like hold on, let me do this first. And I mean, I have generic ones that I can just do quickly. But I tend to agree. Like until I have a definitive reason why I should kill it, it's kind of why not. Yeah. So I'm same page. So these might be back for a little bit, but then again, like if there's enough people who I just realized I don't have that rain. If there's enough feedback where like YouTube audience like just don't want to switch to Twitch, talk about that too. It's been interesting. Like the first couple times on Twitch, like it was very different. Like I think I got rated, so that's basically like some other channel brought all their viewers to my channel, and it like grew really quickly, and then it's been really quiet since. So maybe I rushed to judgment. I don't know. But yeah, I like just trying to have fun with this. If that makes sense. But yeah. Probably keep YouTube for a little bit. But again, like I know I keep talking about it, those videos, they are coming. I have topics written down. Trying to come up with outlines. I'm gonna have like a couple 1-minute videos. Yeah. Soon. Let's see. Surf. South Bay. Oh. People. Export. Green. Stack. Remember this image? I thought there was more potential to this. Twitch is a bitch and doesn't really give alerts out. YouTube is kind of more organic, which helps. That's like, it's funny because I have heard almost the exact opposite from someone else of like, it's impossible to find people on YouTube, where like Twitch makes discoverability really easy. Ari sending me something. But like I always get notifications. I don't know what Ari just sent me. Some search results on Twitter. But like for me, like I follow some people on Twitch and I get emails when they go live. Even when I go live, I get my own emails for YouTube as well. So I thought they were kind of the same there. I don't know. I always thought like everyone's got a YouTube account, so it would be more accessible there for more people, but it doesn't seem to necessarily be the case. No discovery, no recommended on Twitch. You need to be at the top of a category to get noticed. That's the reason people need to create different streams of content. Interesting. Yeah, that's where I think like the videos will be helpful to kind of like drive people to the channel, because the live stream discovery on YouTube is really hard, and I think I could probably leverage my other channels to try and like drive people there, but I don't know if I'm just weird about it, but I don't like spamming. Like I just feel like I have like really weird sort of I don't know, relationship with social media and like how I talk about myself, if I talk about myself. This needs an update. But I think like that's the key to it, is just being shameless and plugging it all the time. But it's like even with Instagram, like I don't want to post all the time because I feel like I'm bothering people. Like I'm inconveniencing them by posting. It's like, oh, they're like, they have to like look and like my picture. Like, I don't know. It's really strange. I don't know why I feel this way. So yeah, I'm working through that, I would say. So maybe I need to do a little more hard work in terms of like individual content, the channels, like Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, probably all ones. sometimes you get recommended on YouTube. It's hard, but if someone watches similar categories, you might pop up. Yeah, that's what I'm banking on. Like, I spend a good amount of time on YouTube watching videos, and I kind of see how the algorithm works sometimes, in terms of like what it recommends. A lot of times it's the same channel, um, which is okay. I'm actually gonna reset this. Um, Creative, empathetic, super difficult to properly play the social game the way social is intended. True. Very true. I don't have it in me. Some people do. And like props to the people who can. It's definitely a skill. Wow, I can't believe I manufactured this much color. This is one. Huh. That's a lot of color. I thought I remember it ish, but apparently not. But yeah, this whole like self-promotion thing and even getting in front of a camera, it's all very strange and new to me. So I'm appreciative of anyone who's here who like helps spread the good word about the channel, if there is a good word to be had about it. But at the end of the day, this is still something that's kind of fun. I hope it turns into something, but I don't know if that's just like it's like almost like a cop out to feel that way, but I don't know. Clearly, I haven't really well defined how I feel about this. Um, Highlights are really getting torched. I think it needs to. I just think it's this guy that's doing it. Not helping. Up the saturation a little bit. There's just weird stuff going on in the highlights right now. That's better. Personally, I'm loving that. I thought about streaming for 2 years now, but always felt like it didn't make sense for what I do. Both you and realizing 90% of what I know I've learned from YouTube is what keeps me thinking about it. That's the biggest part. For me is like, it's time I contribute something. Just being so like independent and in my own world most of the time, I haven't really had the opportunity to give back in any meaningful capacity, and I kind of like the idea of doing that. And it's like even for what I do, like I think I don't know what, because I do so many different things. I don't know what to talk about sometimes. I don't know who I'm talking to in terms of like how they're finding me. Are they finding me through my photo work, through my design work? I think there's going to be some people who are going to come to channels for whatever reason, like the people who are also showing up there and some of the dialogues that can be had there, or if it's very specific to like they see my photo work or my design work and they want to know more about that. There's so much to it. And it's like so like it's very kind of, for someone who's been very private and introverted and kind of um, I don't know. I mean, I've been doing this for 13 years, but I still lack like the confidence that I think a lot of people would who've been doing it that long. So getting in front of a camera and I don't know. This is why I don't say I'm giving advice. I'm just explaining what I'm doing, and it's just like do with it what you may. So, and that's where I get like promoting. It seems like I really believe that I'm like the one who should be giving this advice. It's not. I don't know. It's a complicated like thing to wrap my head around. And I just finally said one day, just fuck it. Like I'm just gonna do it. Why is that? Oh, remember being that purple. Oh. I think I like it more. Like where this is headed. I mean, that color is just crazy. I mean, it's a nice palette regardless. I'm doing a lot of work to get it where it is. Too much work potentially, but yeah, sort of like the midtones are going to really influence the color balance of this. I like it being warmer because if I go cooler, it just like offsets the whole thing. And I think having both, like having the blues with warmer tones, cooler tones, with like warmer tones injected to the lines. Greens, nothing. Feeling better about this. Huh. Oop, not right. But yeah, for like I think the trade-off also is like having done it and just said fuck it and got in front of a camera, like just interacting with people like you, having dialogues with people in the creative community that I mean pandemic's part of the reason. But I just think like people get really siloed and whether you're at an agency, like you don't I don't know. I'm only speaking from personal experience. Um, but it just seems like I don't really connect with as many people and get as many like broad perspectives as I would. Something like this, like even I've learned tons from doing this. Been great for that, and not something I expected at all. Oh, one thing I want to do potentially. My little shadow bump, the reds. I do like that. Export overwrite. 1.3 megs, really? I don't know. Like now, it's not that bad. Some of these little spots through here feel a little hot, but I think overall it's a big improvement. Upload it. Ship it. He's going. Oh. Just did that one. Oh, so I'm back down here, that's why. These are the older ones. Oh, yeah, we gotta talk about that. I think that's just gotta come out. Grain settings on that are just... Too heavy. Kind of chunky, but not high priority. Kind of chunky, not high priority. Same. Same. I think this one needs. I want another crack at this one. 00513. Someday I'll figure out how to edit this. This is at like 10 p.m. in Iceland. I stopped it down so much, but it was just like this narrow little window to shoot from. I've tried to salvage it, but man, it is not. Doesn't happen. Flex. It's one of the versions. White. Start over. This one's strange because it's like it's so soft and like the area where all the definition happens. Like you need the contrast, but I don't want to create it artificially. It's cropped. Right. Do this middle split. Go. It's like images that are this simple, I like to be pretty geometric. It might feel a little stale in some senses, but I'm okay with it. I've had a tough go with this one too. I think Capture One, there's a ton of different versions of this one. None of them just like feels like it just easily runs away in the wrong direction. Can't fully explain why. Outside it's just so soft. It's sunset, but then it picks up a lot of the cooler tones from the water. Part of what makes this impressive is like, I think the scale and how far out it is. I think that's lost entirely. I mean, this is probably a 20-foot wave. But there's no frame of reference, which kind of makes this tough. So it's a challenge to try and like convey that. Like, I don't know if shifting it to the sky or if it's like you're looking more punched in. It's something that's just like out on the horizon. I think this feels like it's like this impending thing. Like it's the horizon, but the perspective of it going out feels like it's kind of like all building it up. It's kind of interesting to crop like this, but I might go back and forth on that in the end. Like, unless I have a specific crop in mind, I try not to crop till the end. Just because, like, how color is affecting all this. Because that's why, like, if you copy and paste edits between images, sometimes it just doesn't translate because there's, like, if I'm doing, like, a pulled-in edit like this and I'm not considering all these tonal values, I could just as easily do, like, some sort of modification that mildly adjust things in here, but just goes nuts on this portion of the image. So I'm thinking this will probably be the crop, but I'm gonna leave it open for now, just because this is really delicate image, I guess is the way to put it. And I've also kind of got oscillated on like, what's the feel of this? Like, is it bright? Is it dark? Like, it's kind of like right at dusk. So if I go too dark, then you lose the details. If I go too light, then it doesn't feel genuine to that moment. And see, like, and pulling in some of the warmer tones in the shadows, I think helps lean into that sunset feel of it, but it loses the color contrast with the water being so much in the shadows. And I might be able to pull some of that back. I think even adding blues in the highlights. Sorry, that kind of distracted me. Doing like the individual HSL sliders, I might be able to pull some of the shadows and like the saturation of the blues back. But I think even just having the highlights of this go back to blue, like if you think about sunset, that's kind of the reality. Like there's the warm section of it, then it gets back to like blue sky at a certain point. But so I think that even helped create some balance. See like how much that changed the tonality of the sky. Yeah, I think that definitely helps. But then maybe I go back to warms for the master. This is like kind of pulling it all together again. And this is where I'm starting to become a little bit more aggressive with like how much I apply. Because I don't want to have boring photos. There's no reason for me to have boring photos. So how do I not do that? Well, I think it takes some just aggressiveness in different ways with how I apply color. Sometimes it works. Like that's where I think I'm going back and fixing these edits because I'm trying to do different aggressive things, but it doesn't always pan out. Or like my taste evolves and like that's not how you be aggressive with things. That's just poor taste. Yeah. See, I don't know how much I'm able to retain. And I'm even questioning how important the blues really are in this. This is just like oddly magenta-y. This feels a lot better. For now. Until I change my mind again, then it sucks again. What can you do? Oh, I should also call out like there's the Discord channel that I think a few of you have popped into. I've not been good about checking that, unfortunately. There's been a lot of things floating around this last week. I need to get back in there and dedicate a little time to being there. So my apologies. I will get in there and be more involved. Bit aggressive. But yeah, I'm feeling much better. Now the crop. So in different ways, but I think the symmetry and having it firm dividing line. So I can go closer in. The only thing I don't like is I'm missing the clouds in this sort of crop. Or is it something that like feels out to sea, or is it just like a dead split? I'm going back to like dead center split. Just the vastness helps convey some scale, maybe more than like the lead up. But again, this whole bottom area is sort of like dead air in some ways, dead space. But I'm feeling much better about that. So let's see. Yeah, let's go see. Export. Green. Get out of here. Yep. Moving. Progress in some of these. That's not that old. Oh, let's move it back. I probably should fix that. That's like the same thing though. I want another try at this too. So many photos to get through. That's why it's easy to default to this, but if there's anything you'd like me to jump to outside of photos, don't be shy. I've actually never edited this in Capture One before, or in Lightroom. Capture One. How did I crop that? Yeah, that's what I thought. Hold this up to here. It's more about the geometry of this. I like that this splits here. This splits around the 2/3. This peak hits around the center. Comes close to there. If I could. Close. This one kind of pinching to the corner is, I think, more important than that being exact. This magenta-y. I always add more green tint to my desert photos. So this is like a morning vibe. Kind of flatter but bright. It should be flat. That's not true. Because of like the low sun should be a lot of long shadows. This guy here. I think the shape it makes is kind of what I've gravitated towards with this one. The shape here and the shape created here. Most interesting. Teal, let's go. Oh. I don't like the weird green highlights. I don't think anything else will go going green elsewhere. Warm is definitely the answer. That leans into the kind of morning sunrise vibe to it. Oh, that's going way out there. Yeah, sometimes like the global just, it pulls it together, but sometimes you just need to offset. Like if I go too warm again, it's too heavy. I think this feels more balanced, but then I can walk it back. Just have it be very subtle, just to kind of tie these individual channels together. I don't know where that alert box is. Someone just subbed. Thank you. Or followed. Or maybe subbed, I don't know. I can't see it, but thank you, whoever you are. I appreciate you. And those alerts are loud. I know. At least they are for me in my headphones. I'll work on those. Just it turned into like, I started doing the design for the notifications, and then it turned into like, well, like maybe my whole layout needs to be rethought. So like the be right back screen, the stream starting soon stream. I want all those to be videos. Like right now it's like something I made in DaVinci Resolve with like the shake animation, but it's on a green background, so it's got to be, what's the name for it? Not clipped. Can't think of the right word. But it's like if you look at it, the edges aren't great, and it's like if I just was smart about this, I could just do it in one video, so I'm not having to create it in Streamlabs. Like, yes, I can move that logo to different places, and there's something nice about that, but yeah, I don't need to do that. And I think I just found out how to do transparent video in After Effects, unless I'm crazy. I always thought that was like a hard thing to do. I don't know, there's some weird process to it. Maybe I don't have to do it. But yeah, so much stuff. Like photo content, kind of jamming things up, photo site, jamming things up, but it'll get better. This hue is very strange. Fringe moments through here, it's just like this strange color. And I'm always guilty of adding some like teal, or like I make the aqua more teal. I don't know if that's like, I don't know, my color terminology is probably wrong. Can't win them all. But this fringe right here, how red that is just seems strange. I don't know if that's the bump in the red channel. Where is that? It's through here. I don't think that's going to be advisable. That's not bad. I thought everything else would kind of suffer, but it's not as bad. And so I can make it sharper, and again, now I'm getting into like, and so because I've sharpened it, you can see that the fringing coming back here and on here. So it's really just taking out the reds through this portion of the gradient, which is, it's too sharp. Now you can see it's gone. But because of that, I might need to bump up the saturation on everything else with the dunes, because I saw it in here. Ooh. How's that going? That's showing up? Yeah, it's showing up black and white for you too. Weird. I think that's been from here. I'm not. I don't know. That's where it was. Here's where we're at. Feeling pretty good. It's got a much better vibe than This is the capture one edit. Again, the colors just feel pasted. I think I leaned more into the contrast in this edit. Whereas I think this one feels a little bit more appropriate of like the warm. I mean, I probably could dunk the shadows a little bit more. I don't want to go that far. I think the last thing will just be taking this out. This probably isn't going to work that well. And it's sampling from the place where the foot came from, or the footsteps came from. Didn't do a terrible job. This is pretty lazy, so sorry. Ideally, I would do each of these individually, but that's going to be kind of a lot. Yeah, it does. Not bad, but you can see it's getting muddy on a larger scale. It's not great. Why is it dark through there? Yeah, that makes it stand out more. No bueno. Almost like I'd rather have the footsteps there. That bothers me. What's funny is like that's probably my footsteps. There's no one there that early. Again, this is kind of one of those instances where it's probably not the best fix, but like I'm not giving people a reason to look there. It's just like kind of this auxiliary thing. Feather. So I'm probably creating all sorts of like muddy edges in here. But again, people really don't have a reason to look here. I think this little that. Oh, no, don't do that. Come on, give me a little bit of room. Yeah, I mean, that's... Again, if you look close, it looks muddy. Like if I was really going to put a lot of energy into it, I'd probably do it a lot cleaner. But to me, I don't think the reward's quite there. So this just feels, yeah, wrong mood. Oh, not into it. Can you share how you made the cursor animation? Yeah. So if you want to watch, I think it was that yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. I did that on stream. So I have the full sort of breakdown in there, but I can talk about that. Other follow? Oh, where the hell are my light box? Or my widgets? Are they not? I don't know what's going on. They should be there. I don't know. Thank you to whoever whoever subscribed or followed. Sorry, I was just like looking at all this stuff. Apparently I just why is the chat gone? Oh, you had meetings yesterday? Yeah, I mean, no worries. I know like I'm doing these at like odd times. So I can do like a quick run through. of what I did. And so this is like, this started from, I wanted to work on the stream animation. So like, I was looking at how I do notifications, how I do different, like the logo elements. I was like, oh shit, like I should probably like do a little test to see, like, get my brain wrapped around After Effects again. So this is the animation. So showing the drag, showing click, showing zoom, drag zoom, and point zoom. So there's kind of a lot of things going on, and I think that's the challenge of something like this is like, how to make this feel intuitive, but have it be powerful at the same time while also not too intrusive. Like stripping this down has been kind of tough. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's anything specifically in how is the cursor is an animated asset. So what I did is, so I went through the sketch file, which I think I have open. Yeah. So I have all these symbols made out that are embedded around the site. And so this is just the Zoom version. So I have all these assets, and so I would just pick out different elements that I knew I needed to animate independently. So like the dial itself, I would export that as its own element, which I ended up getting rid of because this had the highlighted state. So I just ended up going a little bit bigger because this is text as an image, so 2x tends to help. And then, yeah, all the different elements I knew I needed, the different cursor states. And then this is a reference, actually. So I'll put the underlying, I'll export out what like the final layout should be, and then I'll recreate it with different elements in After Effects. So the arrows, I ended up doing a pre-composition of the arrows, knowing I want to rotate. So I just did like the individual like motion here. So that's like, as it's expanding, that's what's happening. When it auto condenses, that's what happens. When it expands, that's what happens. And so then, regardless of what's happening there, I can expand or rotate or do whatever. So that's how like this little offset. So you can see the offset in the expansion. That's something I went back and forth on yesterday. The different transitions in. And this is not something Ari really needs, if I'm being entirely honest. He could probably come up with something without this. I like having this as a visual reference for him because I think with my site, I've got ideas on how this works, so I can be maybe take more of the lead in this instance. Like if I'm spread thin, I don't need to define this stuff to Ari. But like all these sequences, so this is like auto hide. So how do we get this kind of cumbersome looking thing down to like a minimized footprint, which ideally is going to look something like this. So yeah, that's at a high level what I did. Getting something fun, and then I just added in like the transition out, knowing this is something that's going to loop. Like, so I added this on my site here. Like, I know I want this to be like a background asset, something that can just seamlessly loop. So I just added a transition out. But yeah. So that's something that's super helpful. Like a friend who does an animator, he can help me create like so it helps to create parity between like how you structure your After Effects file and how you have the files on your desktop. And so sources or assets or whatever you want to call it, these are the individual elements that are actually in the animation, and then references are something. So this out arrows should be in references, but I don't want to break it and relink it, so I'm lazy. But this helps just having like something underlying as you recreate it, because like things like the circle is its own shape. That's not something I pulled over. I just created a shape layer and then got it close to the size, positioning, scale, all that of the static comps. So yeah, just a fun little exercise. It's been a long time since I touched After Effects, so yeah, always a good time. And so I'm going to get back in there. I'm going to recreate assets for like wherever that logo up top, that's going to be properly animated. I want to have like auxiliary animations. I don't want it to be like noisy and wild, but I don't know. It could be fun to just like build this thing out into something that's, I don't know, a bit more dynamic. I like how the cursor clicks are represented with like a blur. It's something a bit different. Yeah, so that's, so I created a comp to this. So really it's just two circles with the constant scale increase, and then opacity kind of does this like up and back. So this, where are these buttons? You can see like this is the opacities sort of shift as the scale kind of increases. So it kind of creates this like this waving, so it like fades in, fades out, like pulse, and then stagger them a little bit. I even offset them. I think it was by accident I offset them. So it created a little bit of like dynamic overlap to them. But yeah. They end up kind of looking like a blurry, I don't know what it is. They look kind of funky in here. I think it's because I have them upscaled too much. But again, at the size, so like this is 100%, I believe, yeah. So maybe it gives it like a softer feel to it. But it just helps like kind of just show like if I'm really trying to convey different things to it, it helps just kind of point people's eye there. Almost didn't have them yesterday, but thought it might be a nice touch. And so that's where something like this, like I've always used to do like crude prototypes, and I think it helps to like do something a little more polished for a change. Interesting. Oh, I put this in selects. I have a lot of images from that shoot, but Terra dark. Terra. Where did that image go? Oh man. Search. 09217. So deleted it. I'm torn about what to do about all these footprints. It's like, do I really want to fix all of them? I don't. I'm gonna make this thing so slow. It's sad. Mac Pro, it's like I have to think about these things. I thought, oh, get a Mac Pro, you'll never have to wait for anything. Unless Adobe makes it. I absolutely have to. I know that's first world problems. I really shouldn't be. Just like spending that much and getting just poor performance, just frustrating. But wow, that looks really bad. Oh, I really don't know if I want to deal with this. So many just I don't know about you guys, like spam callers have been going crazy lately. Yeah, my phone is just like spoof caller, spoof caller, spoof caller. It's like, God damn. I'm just gonna ignore it. Yeah, it's not terrible. Nope. That. Good enough. Oh, come on. I started that. Those are getting less egregious as they get that way. Like some of these footsteps are what's bothering me. So some of these might not be lining up perfectly, but I'll kind of step back and see if I even notice it. But I think it helps a lot. Oh man, this I should be able to do kind of one fell swoop. Just because there's enough of a repeatable section here where it should blend it pretty well. A little dark though, I don't get that. So now I'm getting into the greasy world of like healing. I don't know if that's advisable. But oh no. Again, this is like it's kind of like an ambient texture. I think everything's going to be focused around here. This is getting into a bit more of like the focus area, so I have to be a little bit more considered about this. All right. This is the beauty of this sort of texture of like you kind of like can get away with it. It's kind of like the ocean too. When you have certain areas you need to adjust, you can see it looks a little cloudy through here. Definitely see it. Not quite gonna work. Why don't you just break it up into sections? It seems like the shadow would kind of create some issues here. This should be sampling. And so you don't want to sample too close typically, because then you can create like a straight line between what you're trying to fix and like an area tangential to it. So it'd be like, oh shit, that looks like a... You can spot the cloning source. And so in Photoshop, like if you're really gonna do a lot of like advanced, I don't know, or more involved healing, like you really have to conceal the source. And like if you use your clone tool, you're always kind of changing your source from it. So you're almost painting in new stuff. Like this is using heal, which is, I don't know, using some algorithm to kind of to do the healing and blend it in with all the surrounding pixels. But that, like, well, a lot of times with the clone tool, it's like you're basically directly painting existing pixels. And there's the heal tool in Photoshop. I don't really like using it that much. There's some follower. Damn it, this alert box is killing me. My apologies. I'm trying to give all you guys some shine or taking the time to follow. I really do appreciate it. I think if I didn't point that out to you, for anyone, you may see it. I think right here, that's kind of one I would see. That's better. A little bit dark through there, but I think that's like right here. This feels a little funky. And so this is like when you walk dunes. If you're walking fresh dunes and you know you're gonna shoot, like try and plan out a route, like as you're looking at it, because this is what you get when you don't plan ahead or like don't see it. But some like the light's always changing in the morning, so you don't know until like sometimes you just like walk down a dune and then you turn around. This looks obvious. Sand retouching, yep. The glorious world of sand retouching. That still looks absolutely terrible. And I'm like trying not to spend too much time on it, so they're kind of like lazy half fixes, which is not great. Like if I was doing this in Photoshop, I think I'd spend a bit more time and energy. But like with the retouching and or healing tool in Lightroom, that's too bright. It's like if I were gonna make a print of this, I'd probably pull this into Photoshop and do a proper retouch. That looks even darker. Why is that? Just walk in the shade areas? Yeah. That's the best way to do it. Yeah. Oh god, I just see it. It's yeah, I tried to like map out a route, but like or have a broom with you, yeah. Just like tie a broom to my backpack that just like wipes it clean. The thing is like with so much of these textures too, like it creates some interesting additional texture. So like the smooth sections and then that, but yeah. A broom would be a better idea. Make my life a lot easier for retouching. Yeah, is there a way? X? No, don't set as reject. Oh. Why is this bothering me so much? All of those feel okay. This is just one that's annoying. I don't know why it's pulling in. If I go to clone, I'm scared of what this is going to do. That's actually better. Ish. As I look at the other edges, it's... Sorry, Alexa, I think you said you're a retoucher. This is probably kind of cringe. That's better. Sure. This one. Trying not to get it too close. That wasn't too bad before. Or always shoot forward. Yeah. I think that's probably the way to do it. Yeah, that's better. It's still not perfect if you look close. I go. So this was, I think, towards the tail end. So I'd gone out like at dawn, basically, and I think this is where I got. Oh, this needs to be selects. Actually, I might do this one next. So I didn't know where the sun was gonna be. So I just kind of like walked along There's all these times like you step on it and just like collapses part of the dunes. So this is what I was walking out on, and then by the time I was walking back, that's when the sun kind of came over the hills, and you start seeing like different moments like this. But you just see these dunes, and it's just like, son of a bitch, like why did I do that? And like I tried to like walk on this side, like the left side of the shadows, but um, was not always successful. Clearly, um, there's a couple others. I've definitely ruined a couple shots on this one. I think this is the. Oh, so no, this is the day before. This one is windy. But yeah, like it's so important to be like out there first, like after a windy day, because like the second someone tracks this up, it's just like kind of ruins like the mystique of a shot like that. I do think I want to re-edit that other one. This one too, I think. And I redid that. This guy. This is the old edit. Stack. What's this? Still don't think that's quite it. Start from scratch. Ah, is that? Weird. Not really, just so cloudy. Is that it? Oh. Maybe the reduction in contrast just makes it feel kind of cloudy. Also, the manic with you, so you can always have a model. You shoot wide angle, no one will see it. That's very true. Damn, you got this. Where were you a year ago? Could have saved myself a lot of hassle. And like so much of this is like creating scale, and just like if I could just drop a mannequin out there. I mean, I think I had like one person show up. What's that shot? I don't even know if that's from this day. It's not. This is a different morning. But yeah, like the scale helps so much. Maybe it's. Oh, not full screen. Stop it. Yeah, it was a different morning. Yeah. I'm packing a mannequin next time. For sure. It's not. Oh, it might have been the smart preview. That's why it looked weird. So I reset it. Mannequins of various size. There you go. You can artificially inflate the scale. Just like have a tiny little one, so it makes the waterfall or the sand dunes look massive. God, where is that? Those dunes are massive. I don't know. It's like if you look at a lot of people compositing. I mean, that's a dead giveaway when people try and pass all these bullshit photos off as, or all these bullshit composites off as photos. Like, look at scale. If it seems weird, look at scale. And like really like look at the person. Like there's some pictures I've seen where like birds are like 12 feet wide just because of the scale of the person. And they added in a person and added in fake birds, and like they didn't think about the scale. And it's getting reposted on all these sort of like Instagram accounts, and it's like, are you guys paying attention here? And like this photo from, like, guys are ridiculous. Definitely not a goddamn photo. But yeah, that's like the one spot I found is most consistent dead giveaway. Look at scale. Or lighting. The lack of like detail in some of these compositions people post. And the like people don't pick up on it, which is also strange. I don't really understand it. That's another thing, like if you're not looking for it, you just don't see it. I don't know. It's just weird. I had to add trees into career trucks picks, and they were so out of scale, but that was what they wanted. Yeah. I mean, maybe the small trees would help make the trucks look bigger. That's funny. Yeah, like people ask for things, and you can tell them like that's not the right scale. So they're like, nah, let's make these trucks real big. It's another like middle ground one. It's just kind of. So that's too much. Ooh, closer. Yeah, definitely better vibe. Yeah, it's that. It's so weird that there must have been like the light coming in hitting the dunes. I don't know if I want to artificially adjust that. It's one of those that's got like a natural teal and orange. I think I said teal and blue earlier. Coffee's worn off clearly. Making this a little more orange. I bet tilt shift would look gassier. Yeah. Yep. Very. That horizontal lines. Saturation. The only thing I'm weird about is the blue. Just dunk it a little bit. It's like a wholesale. Too far, but. Yeah, taking the blues out in the shadows. Spike. Oh. That's too much. Again, I wouldn't advocate too much for doing these sort of like tight points on a tonal curve, but for me in the shadows, I don't know, personal taste. Sort of like the way it offsets some of the shadows. So this will come back to here and just kind of like test this out. See if there's some just wholesale adjustments I can do. Well dialed. Yeah, that's gonna do sky. Sky's got decent contrast. It's not too hard with an edge around there. It's too saturated though. I don't know. No, it's okay. This is just a distraction. I'd rather get rid of it. I'll do a clone along this edge just to get it clean. And everything else can be a soft heel. And it's gone. One thing that's kind of weird is this coloration through here. I don't know if that's like, what is it? Reds and greens, there's no blue, so that's because I dipped it here. Maybe it needs this a little bit. No. A little green, but I think I might need to back this red down a little bit. Stupidest collage I made was for those guys. It was a 350-ton truck going through a field of flowers. Looks so stupid, but it was their favorite pick of the whole year. It was for a calendar. Damn. I'd love... Do you have that somewhere? Is that online? I want to see what a truck going through a bed of flowers looks like. Dark Terra. Yeah. Export. Green. This needs to be in selects. Terra. Probably close After Effects. Unless there's any other questions about this, just let me know. I can open it back up always. These Adobe products and RAM. I might sit on this one. Not quite upload it right now. I think it's good, but it could benefit from another pass. Should be okay. I just worked on that one. I really like that image. It's not bad. Again, I'm trying to figure out like high priority images that are problematic. I think this, that's kind of one. I know there's others. This one's really bad. Too forced. I don't even know if it's going to make the cut at the end of the day. what I had to do to make that image like that is not something I really want to do. I don't know. This may be fixable. No, you know, I'm just gonna restart. Set the black and white, call it a day. Got a lot of details out of that. I don't know if I want to. I really want to replicate that. Like how I got that. Oh, my smart previews. There's so much grain. There's so much like flattening. There's just weird stuff there. I took some rock out. Sorry about that. That's sort of helping. I just like the simplicity of this one. It's really not getting too crazy. And this is where like the color grading, it's kind of messing with. It's not really style. It's getting more into like changing the color of the ice, which is more of like a, I don't know what you call that. It's more like an HSL type thing than it is like a color grade. That makes sense. Balance probably should. Highlights, maybe there's room to create color contrast in this. Too broad, it might just need to. I wish it affected less of this. I don't want any like weirdly unnatural looking eyes. It's already there, I don't know. Okay, so in order to vote for side of the month, I have to tweet it out. I don't think you do. I think if you just close that pop-up, you can just ignore it. Because that's what I did. I was like, I already tweeted about this. I don't think I want to tweet about it again. Damn, Webflow's going crazy. Once I do. They're going through their wish list, which is really interesting. They're just reviewing things I suggest and just not doing them. Like, oh, that's cool, but nah. They don't care about me. But yeah, thank you to everyone who's voted. If you're just popping in, the RA site is up for a side of the day. I've been super thankful for all the support, and it has like the highest votes out of sites of the day so far of the month, so that's a good sign. But I think there's an active theory site in there, and they're kind of always the ones to look out for. So we need all the help we can get. As long as you think it deserves the win. I'm not going to ask you guys to vote against your conscience. Never took this out. Did I mess with that last time? I did, see? I don't remember doing that. But because this pattern's so innocuous, you can be kind of lazy. I can. Should do a pretty good job. Yeah, I mean, that's... And see, this is where, like, if you look closely, you can see this rock and this rock. So if I'm doing, like, actual retouching, I would then go over this and multiply and change different sources from different places and just kind of patch together a fix for it. I'll probably tweet it out because I also got entered into a raffle too or something. Hey, free raffle. Nice. Yeah, the whole voting thing, I don't do it a whole lot. But I appreciate you guys for doing that. And I don't know if it's gonna like sign you up for weird things. It sounds like it may have already done that. In which case, I apologize if you get spam or some shit out of that. That's a bummer. These HSL sliders actually are doing quite a lot. Kind of nice. How blue it is, it almost helps to duck some of that. Like, I just want to check. That doesn't do anything for me. Can't find the collage, probably on an HD. That's not in the PC. Yeah, it's all good. I know how that can go. It's flying all over the place on hard drives. It is worth an ask. Yeah, that's like a really old version. I don't think bumping the reds on this is really going to do anything. Come on. Nope, outside of create problems. So, that little trick, not always good. I don't know if I would even really want this as like a screensaver image. It's kind of whatever. I don't know, could be alright. I should probably get rid of this regardless. Yeah, that's bad. That needs a rework. That probably does, but I think this does for sure. 01519. Huh. Sharp. The old one. Let's see if we can do something better. Yep, ship it. Let's like this image. The simplicity is nice, and this is just 100% a happy accident that he's any bit in focus. Like, the problem is all there's water on the port. shot like at the horizon line. Pretty close to where it was before. Can't figure out the right time to do it, but sometimes with these you can get away with like adding like magenta to the highlights. Not have it feel too weird. It kind of feels weird in this instance. Found it? That's what I'm talking about. Let's go to the truck and the flowers. Dang. Oh, that's pretty good. Orange on orange. Oh man, that's pretty good. Yeah, it must have been such a pain doing all of like the edges of the flowers to try and get to sit at the right height. That's pretty funny. Poppy's the fave flower of the two women in charge, so yeah. I think you're probably going to have a tough battle changing their mind about that one. Some fights, you know, are worth fighting. That one just doesn't seem one of those subjective things. Like, you could tell them, yeah, maybe it's not the best idea. They're like, I don't care. That's like in design. Like, you get people sending their stuff to like all sorts of random people, and who would then have these random subjective opinions that just have no bearing on anything. It's like, oh, how the fuck? Like, why are we listening to your daughter's kindergarten teacher who likes the color green? Like, it's just the most random stuff that comes through sometimes. And that's why, like, for design, like, hearing subjective feedback just, I just tune right the fuck out. I mean, some of it might ultimately be valid, but you just love to hear reasons behind things. Like, designers and creatives in general get hired because they have experience and ideally taste in terms of like what the best decisions are, but then like suddenly everyone's creative and like it doesn't matter that I don't agree with it. Like, okay, I've just done this every day of my life for the last 13 years and you've done this for a week, but go ahead, like, teach me how this is done. But there are times like these people without creative backgrounds come in with just like an unexpected bit of feedback, and it's like, fuck, like, yeah. So like, you definitely, like, I recommend listening to that kind of shit, but man, it's painful sometimes. I decide will I just lean into this or not. We've got your vote. Let's go. Thank you, Arjun. Getting there. I don't know if there's any way to see like what the vote totals are. For me, it just said like your vote. Yeah, I know. Wish I had more info. I guess the next 5 days. Everybody. I just keep this simple. Oh, and tweet. Damn. Good looking out. Truck's wheel is 4 to 5 meters high, so the scale is so off. That's pretty good. New, old. Yeah. I want to play with is this highlight palette I have. There's some coloration I can add. I don't like the brighter horizon. Some things from them I really liked. Look. Damn, that took a bit of work. Huh. Yeah, pulling all that texture in and getting it applied to the rocks like that. Track. Yeah, I mean, photo retouching is not for the light of heart. A lot of work goes into that. Faint of heart. Skin tones all fucked. Yeah. Closer, it's probably too much saturation in that. Better. Done. Select South Bay. Surf. Surf. South Bay. What's for knocking them down. Get them out of here. Use filters to make stones into snow and then masking it. Boy, I loved having a tablet doing that job. Can't imagine doing it without with the mouse. Oh, for sure. And I got my tablet pen. That's how I got started. I doing retouching. They didn't even let us have mice. Just 100%. Tablet. So browsing the internet, doing all that stuff was all with a tablet pen. Oh, this is a bad one. Okay. 00759. Don't know if this is salvageable. Look at that saturation. It's uncrunching a lot of this shit. Some points here. This might benefit from the master having a much more warmth to it. Although I've kind of turned some of that magenta. Might be like greenish yellow. The idea this is like before the sun was like back behind these clouds, so I mean, you can see the original. Oh, that's an old edit. That's not even the original. That's, I mean, that's old style in comparison to kind of where I've been taking things. Kind of wild. Just look back sometimes. Look, that's pretty good. It's walking a pretty good line. Grain's a little heavy. I think this could benefit from... I did it the wrong way. I always add my graduated filters the wrong way. I'm just trying to like soften the highlights a little bit. If I really want to get wild with it, I can add a little bit more to the sunrise. A little bit helps. But again, my philosophy on this is like for sunrise, you don't want to get too far into the balance of one side, because I think that's what you start losing, like what makes these sort of moments impressive is like if you just go too hard on like making a sunrise warm, then you lose the contrast and all of like the blue tonality. It just feels like it's kind of cranked on the color temperature, like I don't know. Again, just my personal preferences. At the time I had a Chinese tablet, it was so hard to install its drivers from a Chinese website. Once me and my friend tried to install drivers on his Hackintosh, ended up reinstalling the system. His drivers ruined his OS. I could see that happening. That's not fun. Those Hackintoshes seem like such a good idea in theory, but they seem like they're kind of like walking on the edge most of the time. Just one wrong move and you send them off into the abyss. Versions. Different. Damn, I really struggle with that. That's closer. Still, it's just so saturated. It's weird coloration. So again, getting towards like more restraint. Maybe the blues could use a little more saturation. Yeah. Export wallpaper. Go on. Yeah, get that out of here. Oh, God, that's terrible to look at. I want to make him dance with puppet wart. Pretty good image for that. Yeah, move his hands around. Easily. Doable. I didn't add it to the metadata. Oh wait, I already did. Whoops. It didn't. Oh shit, it's already 1 o'clock. I might need to call it there. I got some other stuff I gotta jump to. So I sold some stuff. That means I can treat myself to a new mic, which I think will help, and a couple other things. So yeah, gonna work on motion for the stream, all the animations again. Saying it's probably the last Hackintosh he's got because Apple are now having their own processors and there's probably no way to Hackintosh it. That sounds like very Apple. Everything's kind of pushing that direction of like I was thinking about this the other day, like every like Catalina to Big Sur to Monterey now, I think they're all just like, they lock things down further and further. They give you less and less access, which is kind of unfortunate, but yeah. Kind of sad that they have that mentality, but I get it in some ways. Yeah, thank you guys for coming through. Definitely a fun stream. Got some photos done, and yeah, there'll be more. I guess I just keep doing photo editing sessions. It's kind of easy for me to just pop on and talk about it. So could be a night stream tonight. Who knows? Get us some redesign. I hope you can hear that ice cream truck. All right, guys.